Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Just Say Guay. I'm your host, George Guay. Today I bring on Mac Steeves, who used to play soccer at Providence College, second all-time in scoring, played one season with the Houston Dynamo in the MLS, and now plays in the USL Championship League with Hartford Athletic. And I'm very happy to have him on. Let's get him on the phone.
Hello.
Hey, Mac, how you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. Thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Of course.
So before we get to the questions, obviously most of my audience at Providence College that watches has definitely heard of you from watching over the years, but my audience back home isn't really quite familiar with Providence College soccer. So could you just introduce yourself, what team you're on now, teams you played in the past, where you're from, your position, stuff like that?
Okay. For those that don't know me, I'm Mac Steeves. Currently, I play for Hartford Athletic. I'm the center forward for that team, number 19. I went to Providence College. I played there, but I was number 18 there. And last year I played in the MLS for the Houston Dynamo, and I was also number 19, and I was center forward there as well.
All right, awesome. So you mentioned that's a lot of teams you played for over the past few years. So I just wondered if you could describe what your journey's been like. You're arguably one of the best players to ever put on a soccer uniform at Providence College. You have your short stint with the Dynamo, and now it seems like you found a home with Hartford. What's that journey been like? Because, your teammates like Julian Gressel, Colin Miller, Klinsmann Souza, they kind of, found their team right away, as opposed to you, where it's kind of been a different journey.
Well, for me, I thought that I had found the team that I would be with, obviously with Houston last year. But unfortunately, my season was cut short by bilateral hip surgery that I underwent in June of last year. So it was tough, obviously, getting injured and having my rookie professional season cut short. And ultimately, that's kind of what led to my option not being picked up in Houston with the Dynamo. So this offseason was, I wouldn't say a struggle, but a little bit of a journey where I had to talk a lot with my agent and go over options that I had, whether it was MLS preseasons or if it was going to be signing with the USL team outright. So we went over my options and ultimately decided that Hartford was a good fit for me after talking to the coaching staff here, the owners here. And I think so far it's lived up to the potential that I thought it had. And I think it's definitely a good team. Obviously the results have been another story, but I think that this team in the years to come could be a very, very strong team, and it's a great place to have a professional team. It's a great place to live, and the fan base here is incredible as well. So I think it's definitely a spot that I've enjoyed being at for the past 7-8 months or so. But yeah, that's pretty much my last about a year and a half in a nutshell.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely been a crazy journey. So now that you're playing in Hartford, it's definitely something that's close to home. I know you're from Needham, and you played at a college that wasn't too far from home, and now you're in a city that's not too far from home. As opposed to someone like Julian Gressel, who's from Germany. Now he got settled in Providence. Now he's in Atlanta. Klinsmann Souza has been all over the place. Is it helpful that you're playing professionally in a region that you're very familiar with?
I'd say it's definitely nice. I wouldn't say it makes it easier or harder in any way. I think it's nice being able to have family and friends drive a short way to come and watch me play on a weekly basis for the home games. But I think anyone who knows the USL, the league, knows that the East is typically I would say the tougher of the two conferences between West and East. So it's definitely a tough league to be in. But for me, I think I wouldn't say it's easier, but I'd say I have a little bit more motivation. Obviously, like playing in front of fans and family and friends that are familiar with me. Obviously, so.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a very good point. So you made a little personal history with yourself scoring the first franchise goal at home against Charlotte. It was a 1-1 draw. Can you take us back to that moment, what that felt like to, submit your name in this new team's history?
It was definitely a really special moment. Obviously, it was the first point in history for Hartford Athletic. Obviously, we had a tough schedule coming into the season with eight or nine away games to start the year. But getting that first point kind of sparked a little bit of a run that we had. But then obviously also scoring a goal. I think anytime you score a goal, it's definitely a special moment. But this one was probably extra special for me. Obviously, coming off an injury, getting one in the back of the net is definitely important for confidence, and then also for the team. It was important for us at that time that we needed to get something out of that first home game. That's to keep the fans engaged, or if that's for us to get the season jump started a bit. But I think definitely a special moment, definitely a special goal.
Yeah, I'm glad it happened with you after everything you went through with the injury. So in this USL league, you definitely have a few teammates from Providence College that are playing. You were playing with Cleveland until you got traded to Tucson. So you have Colin Miller with Loudoun United. So two things. What's it like, for the first time seeing a teammate traded? Because, in college you see guys graduate and that's just natural. But what was it like seeing a teammate traded that you knew really well? And what do you think it's going to be like facing off against guys that, were your best friends for a long period of time?
It's definitely a different animal when you get to this level. Obviously, it's a business first, and then a game second. So obviously, things happen like that, whether it's someone gets loaned out to a different team, whether it's a trade, whether it's someone gets just dropped from the squad. So it's obviously definitely a different animal from college, but obviously it's definitely refreshing seeing guys that I'm familiar with in the league and seeing them competing at the same level that I am. Obviously, it's definitely nice to see guys that have also achieved the dream of becoming a pro soccer player as well, like especially friends that I've played with previously, and then even players that I've competed against in college. Obviously, there's guys from the Big East Conference all over that have made it in the USL and the MLS and stuff like that. So it's definitely nice seeing those guys make it to the level as well. But I think it's also maybe a little bit of added incentive to get the result when you play against those guys,
Yeah, it's definitely good because bring out the best of each other. So I wanted to ask, how excited are you for the new stadium? I knew when you were in college, and I saw it too. You guys got Chapley Field and Henderson Stadium. I think it definitely helped out the fan base because it gets people excited. I think at the school it definitely helps that they had those behind one of the nets. Like hundreds of people could literally sit down and enjoy the game. Do you think that the new stadium will help out in terms of increasing the fan base and get people more excited?
Definitely. We've played 3 games at the new stadium, Dillon Stadium in Hartford, Connecticut. Obviously, we played at Rentschler Field for the first at Pratt and Whitney Stadium for the first couple home games, and obviously that stadium has some history where the U.S. national teams come and play here and all that sort of stuff. But I think Dillon Stadium has a little bit more of the history where teams like the New York Cosmos have played here, guys like Pele have played in that stadium. So obviously having that stadium refurbished and basically upgraded. I think it's definitely a positive thing for Hartford and for Hartford Athletic. I think it's a smaller stadium, so the fans are definitely closer to the field, but I think if we can fill that consistently, I think it's going to be a tough place to play.
Yeah, and I think that's obviously a good thing that you might agree with me or not agree with me. I think, in Hartford, there's not many pro teams, so I think that would help out the fan base in a way that it can get people more excited, because I think the only other team is the minor league baseball team, right, in Hartford?
Yeah, the Yo-Yos. But yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think it's definitely good. It gives people something to root for, and it gives them something to do on the weekends, whether it's going to a Yard Goats game or a Hartford Athletic game. So I definitely think it's good for the community. It's definitely good for the city of Hartford. But yeah, I think so far we've definitely, I know as a team, we've been pleased with the fan base, and we'd love to see more people out there, obviously. So it's very good.
Yeah, I know I'm definitely going to make a trip down when you guys play Colin. I believe I think it's the first week of September or something like that, right after school starts. But obviously, it's not too far from Providence. So I want to ask a few Providence College questions. I remember I saw an interview with you and your sister Kayla, and one of the reasons that you came to PC was that having that nice feeling of being close to home. So what were some other reasons that drew you to Providence College besides that?
Well, I'd say during the recruitment process, it's definitely, you don't really know what to expect. Obviously, coming out of high school, I didn't really know what I wanted out of like a college. I didn't know what I wanted to do in terms of a major, of what I wanted to study. So I think what was important for me was going to see the school and going to meet the coaching staffs and stuff like that. So I think that ultimately my decision came down to, obviously, one, being close to home, and two, I think once I met the coaching staff, for me it was a no-brainer to make the decision to ultimately commit to Providence College. But I think even further from that, obviously my tour at Providence and the orientations and stuff like that definitely confirmed my choices, and ultimately it was one of the best decisions I could have made. Obviously, we make a bunch of good runs into the NCAA tournament, so I definitely, looking back, I have no regrets with my decision to end up going to Providence College.
Yeah, so speaking of those runs in the NCAA tournament, obviously you guys made it to the Final Four. I think the year before I got to school, the team had that crazy run where they shocked Maryland, who I don't think they lost at home all year long. When I think you guys were down 3 or 4-0. So what's the whole feeling like that you guys really, you, Julian, Colin, a lot of other great players, you guys really changed the program? When I got there, you guys were starting out on the soccer field by the track, and now it's an event that people really want to go to because it's such a great stadium, it's a great team, and how did it feel that you guys really changed the program?
It definitely feels good. Obviously, the year before I got in there, they had only won 4 games the year before I got in there, so my senior year of high school, and then ended up my freshman year, we ended up winning 12 games, making a little run in the NCAA tournament. The year after that, we set the record for most wins in a season for Providence College ever, was 16. So I think obviously we kind of created a little bit of our own history, the class of 2017. So obviously it's definitely a positive thing for the program, but I think it's also something that the 7 guys that I came in as a freshman with definitely made a difference in the program. We can look back and hang our hat on the fact that we did something very special in our 4 years together at Providence College. So it's definitely something that people are going to remember, and it's definitely going to be something that's going to help the program move forward, obviously.
Yeah, I think it's definitely important to leave it in a better place than when you came in. So in terms of the school, Providence College, you mentioned that education was a huge factor in your decision. So obviously the campus really transformed in the time I've been here, and especially since you've been here. A new stadium, a new basketball facility, the new business school, a new science complex. So how do you feel about how, Father Shanley, Mr. Driscoll, they've really evolved the school, not just for the athletes, but also student athletes, but also from the student side as well. That even if you're not going to make it to the pros, you're still going to have a great education to build off of when you leave.
So to go off of that, I definitely think Mr. Driscoll and Father Shanley and obviously everyone else in the athletic department and on the board of trustees, all the alumni at Providence College, pretty much everyone at Providence College, like they are some of the most professional, some of the most efficient, some of the best overall people that I've ever met. I think that everyone at Providence College definitely has a vision of making it a powerhouse in terms of the athletic side, but I think they also take a lot of pride and they put a lot of effort into making sure that the academic side is the most important side of any student athlete's career, So I think that from that standpoint, I think the academic side of Providence College is top notch, and I also think for the athletes as well, I think they realize that, if I'm not going to make it as a professional, then I don't have something to fall back on. But this is my basically my plan A should be this academic side, because it definitely is so strong at Providence College, So I think from both perspectives, athletically and academically, it's definitely a strong program, and I think a lot of people put a lot of effort into making sure that Providence College can be that academic powerhouse and an athletic powerhouse.
Yeah, I've definitely been impressed with how it's changed since I've got there. So last question, from my high school soccer perspective, a lot of everyone that's in the program when I was a senior is gone. And, I saw a lot of the guys who were younger, lead the team. And it was very interesting to see how they did it when I went to a game. And, a lot of the guys that were very young, when you were an upperclassman, are now the leaders. Tiago, Danny Griffin, Serrano. What can we expect from those guys this year as the leaders of the team now?
I think that obviously I haven't seen them too much as of late, but I think that you can expect similar to years when I was there. I think that it's definitely a good core group of guys. Obviously, they have a lot of potential to do great things, obviously, with this program, and I think there's a couple pieces in that team that can take the team to the next level, So, like you said, there's a good group of guys that you can probably expect to make a run in the NCAA tournament if they can make it there, And then once you get there, it's making a little bit of noise, and maybe a little bit of luck. So I think you can probably expect some big things from the program moving forward, whether it's this year or in the following years.
Yeah, I expect big things too. I mean, they're great people and absolutely excellent soccer players, and that's what you need at a school like this. Well, Mac, I appreciate you coming on, and I'll be sure to see you at a game in the next few weeks. Thanks for coming on.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
No problem. All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed my interview with Mac Steeves. Have a great day. And as always, just say Guay.